I'm working on a 1928 D. I've been working on this tractor for quite a while, and we're getting close to getting this finished up. The wheels are out, getting sandblasted and powder coated. Hope to have them back in the next week or two. And right now I am on my umpteenth coat of yellow paint on these letters on the radiator. This is genuine yellow paint from the mothership, and it does not cover very well. I think the next time I will go over this with some buff primer to get to get a base for this yellow paint. I did scuff the letters before I did this, but I think this is the 5th or 6th coat of paint that I put on these letters. So hopefully one of these days, if I don't give out, I will have them all yellow. You can see in these letters right here, even I know it's at least four coats, that it still looks like you can shadow green through that paint. And I realize that, you know, it's hard to cover darker shades with lighter shades, but I think I've got one more tractor that I'm going to paint, which is the 38 AR behind me, and I think when that tractor gets ready to paint, that I will coat these letters with some buff. Though the one thing that I do know, it just doesn't seem like the modern paint coats as well as the older paint. But we work with the cards that we're dealt. So that's what we're doing. The last thing I would like to have on this radiator is a run. So we're trying to be somewhat careful. If you look on that 36 AR right behind you, you can see how nice the letters look on it. And that, I don't know how old the paint job is on that tractor, but the letters really look good. So hopefully we'll get these on this D looking hopefully about the same before it's over with. We're getting very close on this project. Of course, this year is a kind of a special event in the agriculture world. It's the 100th anniversary of the John Deere D. First Model Ds came out in 1923, and For you Red fans out there, it's also the 100th anniversary of the Farmall. So whether you love green or whether you love red, it's your year to celebrate, if you're into that kind of thing. As if you take a quick pan around the shop, it looks like I'm a fan of those things. You asked me what I was doing a while ago. I guess in all reality, I'm watching paint dry. So
How exciting.
Yep. They say the devil is in the details. I don't know what that is exactly supposed to mean, because I don't care to have the devil involved in anything that I'm doing, but I do want to make it as good as I possibly can for the customer. And this tractor has been quite the project. We did not do a total restoration on this tractor. Basically, it was, I would call it a repair and repaint. Customer himself is a well-known diesel engine mechanic here in the area, and so we did find a few things along the way. They had the clearances all, I say they, the previous owners, whoever that was, had the rod bearing clearances pretty well messed up. And it may not have been the previous owners, it might have been the previous owners. You never know how many owners a tractor this old has had. But we had some rod bearing issues. The governor was wore completely out. I machined several new parts for the governor. Found that the timing gears, the crankshaft timing gear was split along the keyway. So the timing gears were replaced, and while we had that much of it out, we had the cam ground, cam followers refaced. Of course, we sent the magneto and the carburetor off to get done. And ooh, got a big blob of paint there. Get that spread around. But we've, after all that work, the owner and I fired this thing up. It fired up on the third or fourth roll of the flywheel, and we drove it around the yard for a bit with a lawnmower fuel tank for a fuel supply. So we have had the tractor running and driving. Did that before we ever started the the initial cleanup and paint. And got new sheet metal, new hood, new fenders, new seat. Pretty well did some clutch work, placed some dogs and pins in the clutch. So again, not a total nut and bolt restoration, but basically oh, I forgot, here I am painting on the radiator, new radiator core also. A little bit of machine work on the bottom radiator tank. So yeah, it's been a kind of a long process. So we're looking forward to getting the wheels back and get this tractor out for the show. We're having our annual threshing bee and tractor show in Fairview, Oklahoma. The last Friday and Saturday of September this year. And so we would, if any of you see this video and would like to participate, we would certainly love to have you at our show. We have several steam traction engines that are on the grounds during the show. We do one thing that is pretty unique as far as shows, is we have a house moving demonstration with steam traction engines. There was a family here in town at the early part of the 20th century, made their living by moving houses, and that house moving demonstration is done on the original dollies that those people moved houses on back in the early days of the 20th century. So that's something that's fun to see. We also have a sawmill. We have a mill house where we mill corn and wheat into flour and cornmeal. We've got a line shaft set up in the mill house, and seems to be a popular attraction. We also have a large parade of the machinery every day at noon. We also have some people from Kansas that come, and they are anvil shooters. And if you've never experienced seeing an anvil shot into the air, it's something to see. One thing about it, if you're not expecting it, after the first explosion of the powder, you'll be ready for it next time. That's for sure. So that's just a little bit about our show. I honestly don't remember 36th, 37th annual show, something like that. So anyway, if you're in the area, Fairview, Oklahoma, Northwest Oklahoma, we'd love to have you. Well, there you go. I think one more coat. Remains to be seen if that's enough, but time will tell.